Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 58. It's Ilya here, and as always I'm super excited to see you on my channel. As you know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming one. So I'm on a little vacation right now with my family, so I tried to take trades only during London Open around that time, and we had some pretty manipulative London sessions, and I'm gonna show you all the trades that I took, all the setups that I watched, so you can extract as much as possible from this video. I'm gonna try to keep it short and simple and only focus on the pairs that potentially provide a clear setup and we had a tradable opportunity for this week. So if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I share weekly analysis, I share educational content, so consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell in order not to miss the content that is upcoming. And if you already did, let's not waste time and jump straight into the analysis. Alright, as always, starting from our best friend, the DXY, I always love to start my trading day by having a look at the DXY because it provides me with an overview of the dollar, and because most of the pairs are traded against the dollar, you get a pretty nice view of what potentially those other pairs might look at, what is the strength or the weakness of the dollar, so you can kind of build a little bias before you start to analyze all of your pairs. So just having a look at the weekly time frame, we had a bearish week. A strong push to the downside filling this week. Right now we are still in this kind of a supportive area, because if you see on the left right here, there is a pretty strong supply and demand area right here, or just a support and resistance. So I would expect a little pullback because we've been pushing down for 4 weeks right here. As you can see, well, 3 weeks actually of push down because this was the lower high created. And right now we can expect a little bit of a pullback. So weekly time frame, bearish week, nothing much to discuss. And if we jump to the daily time frame, I usually try to focus just on the structural levels right here and see if price is about to tap into some pretty strong level. So what we have right here is this supportive level just right here, because you see when the price tapped right here, we had a strong push to the upside. We actually had 1, 2, 3 waves to the upside, push back down, failure to break above. So basically this becomes our strongest resistance area. However, the market is too far away from it, so we don't pay too much attention. And if we try to find something in the middle, actually nothing makes sense, because if I just draw a line right here, it might result in some sort of our support and resistance on the hourly, but the daily is just this support and this resistance and this support, so we have to pay attention only to the supportive level, right? So 5 days of price action, we started pushing down, we found a little support right here, and we ended up the week in a bearish manner. So what was very interesting about the DXY is that we have this very big trend line that we discussed with my team. So we started to look for a little bit of longs right here because the market pushed up, created a lower high. We had this massive selling pressure right here, and then the market created a massive bullish engulf to the upside, and that day it was looking like a break and a retest. So, but I said, well guys, potentially we are still trading in a very bearish market. We are still trading below the 61.8%, as you can see right here. So actually the sellers are still in control. And as you can see right now, we broke below this area and we continue to push to the downside. So the DXY is still bearish. The dollar is still bearish. So we potentially have a bullish Euro USD, bearish USD Swiss franc, and and the other pairs as well. So what I will be looking at on the DXY is I just want to look at this trend line right here, this support and resistance level, and this lower high. So as long as price remains below, then I will be keep looking for sales. However, knowing that the market is sitting at a strong daily supportive level, then I can expect something to happen. And seeing that from the downside, there is some bullish pressure upcoming. As you can see, we had this step up right here. And if the market starts to fail to break below this kind of structural levels right here, then I will start considering that the market might be about to reverse. So I will really let Monday play out to see what might happen. We have a few scenarios. The market will either continue to push to the downside, come back for a retest, and then we look for continuations. The market might come into this major area to create a double top, or on the best occasion, we might break above and start trading to the upside, which will give us a completely new bias and a big pullback actually to fulfill on this massive daily and weekly push. So let's see the DXY. So far I am bearish, but I want to see how it's gonna react in this range. A very strong week for Euro USD. As you can see, we have a massive bullish candle right here to the upside, piercing through this very strong weekly resistance. But this is why I don't look too much on the left, guys, because those areas are not like always proven to work. the more people look for sales right here because of all of the rejections right here, the more the banks will be buying. And as you can see, at the end of the day, we resulted in a nice push to the upside. So pretty bullish euro. And as you can see, the last 5 days, we started in a very bullish manner. Then we had a little pullback, another bullishness. Then we had a little pullback. And on Friday, we ended up bullish again. So daily time frame, some key areas to monitor. We'll be actually currently sitting in this area, but if I draw it like this, it won't make too much sense because the market is just sitting right here. So what I will do is I will just consider this little area right here as a break to the upside, and this being my higher high, higher low, higher high. So we can expect a pullback potentially in this area, or just to know that this could be a strong support and resistance level. And as you can see from the hourly time frame, it kind of makes sense because we have the structural level right here, and I would just try to focus on the most recent price action. So I want to show you the trade that I looked at on Euro USD. I believe it was just right here on this manipulation to the downside. So if I go to the hourly time frame, yep, it's exactly like this. We have a nice impulsive move to the upside. We have this pullback. The market started to slow down. So I was analyzing the market by that time, just right here. It was, 7, 8 o'clock. The market was right here. So I said, I want to see a strong hourly candle to pierce through that level and to close above. But what did we have? We had a strong downwards candle right here to catch all the stop losses that already took the trade. And then we have this strong push to the upside. So you had to take a very aggressive trade, a very quick one, which was just a wick to the downside in order to take that trade, or this little pullback right here. But the market then ended up resulting in a very massive push to the upside. I took a loss on EJ because there was an hourly close above. And I lost it, and then it actually reversed. And after this happened, then the market became very choppy. It was pretty hard to get into a trade. So we had this little head and shoulders formation right here. This was right here a potential short opportunity. If I just go to the 15-minute to show you guys how potentially you could have entered in this one. It wasn't a very clear formation because you can see how the market creates a beautiful uptrend. If you haven't watched my video on pullbacks, make sure to do so. I will try to leave a card right here. And then we had this little break in the retest. So if you entered on those wicks, this would have been your trading opportunity. Then we pushed down lower high, tried to make a lower low, and if you took profits right here, perfectly fine, because later we had this beautiful manipulation to the upside, and then we started to push down. So and then you see push up, push down, consolidation, and again nothing clear to trade. So again, to focus and to try to see what might happen for the next week. As you know, I always love spotting my major zones, my major structural levels. So I have those right now. This is my higher high that failed to break, and this is my higher low that is, well, it's not a higher low because you see we have a push pullback, lower high, lower low. The market spikes into the higher high, rejects, and tries to create a lower low right here, but actually finds pretty nice support and jumps to the upside. So I want to see how the market is going to react to those levels. Basically, we're in a consolidation right now, very similar to the DXY, but they're 90% oppositely correlated. So I just want to see some clear price action to develop. I might have a push to the upside, breaking the retest. The market might try to create some lower highs right here to take it to the downside. So make sure to stay tuned for my Tuesday analysis, and let's see what happens. Let's see what Monday has for us. So far, I don't want to share, to shout a bullish or bearish bias because it's not clear. So this is why I want to see how Monday is going to develop, and then potentially have another analysis and see what we have for the week ahead. Euro JPY weekly time frame. So I expected bullishness on this one just because we had this massive push to the upside and a beautiful Fibonacci right here, and it really looks like it's gonna fulfill potentially the 27 extension. Maybe this is huge pip amount, but it might happen. So pretty bullish week, and as you can see from the daily time frame, we started the week in a very bullish manner. Then we had this pullback, we continued up, and then we had 3 days of consolidation, making EJ very hard to trade. So basically right here we have a break in the retest of this previous resistance, now becoming support. We have a bullish trend line as well, which shows us that we are trending to the upside. So if I go to the hourly time frame to show you my trade, which was just right here on this pullback, if I drop to the hourly time frame, because this is where I took my trade, we have this massive push to the upside, and right now we're starting a pullback. So what I said to myself, I had my structure drawn something like this, and I took my trade after this bullish candle right here, because I said I want to see a bullish close above to indicate the bullish pressure, and then I'm gonna enter into the market. And as you can see, let me see where I entered. Yeah, my zone was looking something like this, I believe. And I entered on this bearish engulf right here in the middle. and my stop loss was just below that low, I believe 9 pips or 10 pips, something like this. And I was targeting actually a very nice target for a high right here. And as you can see, this was the London manipulation. If I see the clock, it was exactly 9. This is London open for my time zone. Nice manipulation down, which EU actually caused, and then the market just reversed and massively hit take profit, resulting in a massive trade. But yeah, pretty unlucky trade. And after the manipulation, I didn't get any chance to enter because I usually like to trade break and retest. So for example, I don't want to enter on this bullish engulf and have my stop loss like this or like this, because this doesn't make sense to me. So basically I had a loss on this one, which is perfectly fine, and I hope you will extract something from it. But I was pretty unlucky with the London manipulation, and then it was pretty hard to get a trade on EJ, so I didn't trade it no more. So what do we have right now? We have this structural level and we have this structural level, basically a consolidation. And if we try to break the structure in between those levels, it actually gets pretty hard, and you have to get to the hourly time frame. We have a strong push to the upside indicating bullish pressure. While waiting for the pullback, the market never provides us any bullish pressure, so we go to the downside. Then we have another impulsive move to the upside, and then we reject from that. So basically, if you see the hourly time frame, it's just a consolidation. So again, waiting to see what Monday has for us. No clear bias for now. It's overall long. So I'm overall long on the euro, but first I will need to see some clear pullback, some clear higher lows with some bullish pressure. Potentially this could be it, because we have a massive push up. We have a nice pullback right here into a Fibonacci level, which is the 50%. So when I go to the 50-minute time frame, we have our bearish structure. So potentially a nice impulsive move, and a retest could be a trade for me. But Mondays, I don't trade Mondays. So let's see what do we have on Tuesday, and if we're actually going to have that bullish pressure. Let's have a look at the Aussies. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to them because they were pretty slow, pretty consolidative, and really hard to catch a trade on those ones if you don't trade the hourly in the 15-minute only. So from weekly time frame, we have a little indecision candle right here, which is bullish, which is perfectly fine. We have that weekly resistance area right here that is failing to break. So nothing really major from weekly time frame. What we can see on the daily is a little uptrend right here, but you can just see how those candles are very choppy, no clear direction, it's not a clear trend. And when we go to the 4-hourly time frame, we had this consolidation, right? We had a massive push to the upside, and we expected a pullback. But the pullback, you see, wick right here, big wick, massive wick up, bearish engulf, again, break above, bearish, bullish. It's just very, very, very hard to trade, right? So I didn't catch any trades on that one. And if I go to the hourly time frame, it actually doesn't make sense. Just this little head and shoulders right here made sense, but I think, let me just check the 15-minute. Yeah, so this one broke to the downside, didn't come for it actually came for a retest right here, but then look what happened. And this was Asian session. We had this massive manipulation right here. Then price came to the downside. So we basically have the only short right here, which was manipulated at the end of the day. So maybe you would have been stopped out at break even or even stop loss. So a pretty nasty pair to trade. So back at the 4-hourly time frame, we know that we're sitting at a strong weekly resistance. But if I just try to break this one, it's totally confusing for me because we have a push up and a little downtrend, a little wick. So what I'm gonna do again, guys, is I'm gonna take my major areas, which is just right this and potentially this one. So what I see right here is that there is a little area in between forming, which is just right here, because you see wick right here, and right now the market is trying to climb into that area. So I really want to see how it's gonna react to it. So from hourly time frame, right now we have a strong push up and potentially a pullback retest of the previous broken structure. So maybe the market will take us into the highs right here of 70, 100. But I really don't want to say anything right now for Aussie USD because I'm waiting for a clear price action to develop. But this is how I'm gonna look at the market on Monday. This little area right here, my support, my resistance, and I just wait for a clear higher low and or a lower high in order to take a trade. Aussie JPY weekly time frame. This is even more choppier than AU. We have a very little weekly candle right here. I can see that we have a little bit of resistance from the previous week. So I'm gonna draw it like this. I will even take this one right here, dropping to the daily time frame. Absolutely nothing to say except like we have this kind of a trend line that we can draw, and potentially if this one breaks strongly to the downside, we might have some selling pressure introduced. but I'm perfectly gonna see this on the 4-hourly, which is extremely consolidative. So what I'm gonna do, I will not break anything on this one because it's just choppy and it's just hard to get a trade. What do we have, guys? Is just this area right here. So we have the high, we have the low, and a big consolidation in between. So what I want to see on this one is potentially a strong break below, retest, continuation, strong break above, retest, and continuation. Very simple. Just wait for that impulsive move to happen and actually the market to sustain the pressure. Because you see right here, we had a strong break to the downside. We expected a retest, but the market then created a strong push to the upside and a pullback to the downside to actually go long. So if we have a strong break below, we want to see that clear retest with some selling pressure right here with some rejections in order to make sure we are short bias and then take the trade. So AJ just waiting to see what is going to happen on market open. NZD/USD weekly time frame, same as AU, as they're pretty much correlated. So from the weekly time frame, we have a little weekly candle again. You see not much volume and actually sideways moving market. From daily time frame, we can see that the last 5 days, which starts from right here, 13 bearish, rejection, bullish, bearish, and bullish, actually staying in this kind of range just like this. So basically really nothing to take a trade on this one. And if you go to the 4-hourly time frame, you will see how clearly the market is trading in this consolidation box. So keeping in mind the higher time frame picture, which is a consolidation, you can always try to dig deeper into it and go to the hourly time frame, because we had some setups right here, but actually nothing provided with an opportunity. First of all, we had that selling pressure right here. I was waiting for a pullback, but the market just started to chop down there. Then we had this strong bullish pressure and I was looking for a pullback, which it happens. But just have a look at all of those hours of wicks. It's actually like 4 or 5 or 6 hours of wicks. And then we exploded to the upside, but after the explosion, then we started to trend down, up, down, up, down. So basically pretty hard pair to trade. So what I'm gonna do, guys, again, is I'm gonna just break it down. We have our resistance area right here, which is not a lower high or a higher low, which is not nice. And then we have this little area. So I'm gonna see how the market is gonna react in between those two areas. Are we gonna have any impulsive moves with sustained pressure? Because we see we have a bearish move right here, a break below, but the market, when it pulled back, it doesn't sustain that bearish pressure and it pushes actually up. Right? And this is why it's pretty important for you guys to have an entry criteria on the lower time frames, because if you just jump in a trade like this, I believe this was a picture perfect trade from Sunday analysis, but you never had the 15-minute. For me personally, I never had my trade on the 15-minute. Structure was never broken and the market just continued to trade to the upside. So let's see what happens. Waiting for some clear direction on this one, some clear 4-hourly lower highs and higher lows, and make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis. NZD/JPY, absolutely choppy pair. I'm not even paying any attention to it. I think of removing it to my watch list, but this was usually a pretty nice moving pair, but recently it's just been a madness. So as you can see from daily time frame, we just have a consolidation right here on the top. 4-hourly time frame, it's just a madness. So what I can do is just mark like this overall consolidation box right here and just wait for something to happen, guys, right? So we have this consolidation right here. The market breaks out of the consolidation, tries to retest, manipulation to the upside. I remember this one was on Monday, and actually I had a pretty nice short setup just right here, but manipulation up, down, up, and just choppiness. So nothing on NZD/JPY, just waiting for some clear breaks and retests. Let's have a look at USD/JPY. So weekly time frame, nothing specific, no specific candle. You can see again, it's a low volume candle, meaning there was not huge movement. So really nothing to discuss from weekly time frame, except that we have a very strong support, which is not right here. It's just right here. Very strong support to monitor 106,500 and 106. This kind of area is acting as a very strong support, and as you can see from the daily time frame, whenever the price taps in here, we always explode to the upside. Tap, explosion, tap, explosion. So potentially this one is gonna break soon, but we never know when, and I always love to focus on just the most recent price action. So from daily time frame, again, we have this strong daily area right here, which price is too far away right now, so I'm not gonna pay too much attention. And what I can see again is that just having a look at the most recent price action, we have a level right here that the market is failing to break and is actually throwing huge risks into. And even from the downside, we have the market creating this sort of level. So dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see how perfectly we built that picture that the market is consolidating. However, we had some trades on that one actually. So right here, when the market fails to create a lower high, I think there was a long opportunity, and right here there was a short opportunity. So let me just quickly break it down for you guys. Yeah, so this one was a head and shoulders formation. You see left shoulder, head, right shoulder, massive consolidation right here. So what happened on this one? This one was a breakout trade, which I don't like taking, but there were some people from the community that smashed this one. So what we have right here is the market consolidating, and just pay attention how it fails to break above. Right here, forming this triangular formation, then we have this massive selling pressure. So are you gonna take it after the bearish engulf? I usually always wait for the retest of the structure, and the retest was never provided, and this massively melted to the downside. Just have a look at this one. Then we had a lower high, then it melted down again. So this was a pretty nice opportunity, guys. Make sure to analyze it, see how you would have entered in this one. Are you waiting for the retest, or you like to take the breakout? Make sure to spot that out. And then what did we have after this market fading to continue to the downside, forming this double top, bearish engulf, but failing to continue down? We had this strong impulsive move to the upside with a pullback. So basically we had a long setup just right here. But again, I wasn't provided a trading opportunity. Why? Because you see double top right here, push to the downside, pullback, lower high, double bottom. So I don't take a trade until I see a broken structure. And when the structure was actually broken, I had to instantly execute, because then the market didn't provide me with any retest, so I missed out on this trade as well. Pretty unlucky, but this was, again, yeah, this was like non-trading hours for me, because this is around 4 to 5 hours after New York open for me, and I usually don't sit on the charts at that time. So yeah, this is UJ for this week. We had 2 opportunities. I don't want to delete my zones right now. So what we have basically right now, guys, is the price staying in between those 2 zones. And right now we are staying in the middle, retesting this previous broken structure. So I really need to see what is going to happen on Monday, because right now we have a strong bearish introduction. Potentially the market can come for a hourly retest into this structure. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in UJ. It's a pair that moves a lot, but right now it's moving from range to range, because you can see here we had a range, we broke, retested, pushed down, but then we created another range, right? So what I need to see is a clear trending market, but we can always drop to the lower time frames, to the hourly time frame, and try to catch those intraday moves, right? So pretty curious to see what's going to happen on Monday. The hourly bias is consolidation, nothing really to cover right now. I am not even bullish, because we have a push up, we have a pullback down, but there is not any bullishness right now. So patiently waiting for Monday to open and striking on Tuesday. USD CAD weekly time frame matte pair this week. Again, we had some up down movements, but very strong actually, and this is perfect for the guys that trade support and resistance and supply and demand, because it really reacts from those areas. So what I can see from weekly time frame is that I have this lower high formation right here, and from the bottom I have this supportive level. Dropping to the daily time frame, you can see how perfectly the market is reacting to this supportive area right here, but basically we are stuck in this daily consolidation right now, so we have to drop to the lower time frames in order to spot a trade. So what did we have this week? So from the previous week, let me see, actually, yeah, so the market pushed massively to the upside and I was long biased, and actually we had some people taking longs from this one. Although we had this matte manipulation to the downside, the market pushed up but failed to create a higher high and actually resulted in a massive flush to the downside. So after I see this, I'm usually okay. We have selling pressure, let's look for sales. But the market tapped into this strong demand area right here and a massive reaction to the upside, which was a beautiful long opportunity. And then the market started to consolidate. So basically a pair that doesn't trade too much with structure, but just reacts massively from supply and demand, right? So I didn't take no trades on this one, and how I'm gonna break this down, my analysis is already here. So we have this very strong supportive level, we have this very strong resistance area if you want to, let me see, so potentially something like this. Right now the market is in the middle, creating this little consolidation box. So I want to see on market open where the market is actually gonna take us. It's an overall consolidation. USD CAD loves consolidations, but it provides us with some nice intra weekly moves between the 4-hourly and hourly time frames. So if you just focus on those time frames, you can get some pretty nice day trades. But as for the longer term like trend. We are just in a consolidation, so just zoom in on your charts and try to spot where the market is reacting. So right now this looks like a lower high, but I really need to see some bearish pressure and a retest in order to take the market down, or a break and retest to the upside in order to take the market up. USD Swiss franc weekly time frame, nothing to extract from the weekly time frame except a candle that pushed to the upside and then pushed all the way down and actually closed bearish. So we have a bearish week on USD Swiss franc. Daily time frame, as you can see, when the market opened, which is just right here, 13th, we pushed up, pushed down, massive explosion to the upside, stayed above, and right now we have a beautiful evening star formation, meaning selling pressure, and it was actually a beautiful break and retest of the previous broken structure. So I was pretty unlucky on this one again, because it doesn't provide with retests. So if I try to spot where I tried to take a trade, I believe it was those two areas right here. Yes, exactly. So right here, what do we have, guys? Is the market strongly pushing down, starting to create this complex correction, and I was looking for that selling pressure. So when the selling pressure came right here, it never came back for a retest, right? So there was a very little chance right here, very little chance to enter in that wick. But this was again before London opened, so I really expected the market to pull back into that area, but it actually never did, and it just continued to flush to the downside. I was seeing how the market was failing to break above, but I just needed to see some sort of a break of this big wick area right here. And when it broke, it was just a 5-minute retest, which I usually don't like to take, and then the market flushed to the downside. So this was the first opportunity that I looked at. There was another one. Let me just try to locate it. Yes, exactly this one. We had a strong push to the downside. Again, we have our uptrend. And when we drop to the 15-minute time frame to look for our entry, look what happens. Again, I always look for a break of structure. And when the structure breaks, guess what? No retest and a massive explosion to the downside. And this made me think, like, why don't you start using sell stops, for example, instead of waiting for the retest, and maybe try to kind of spread your position. For example, take one, like if you risk 1%, take a 0.50 with a sell stop, and then take 0.50 with a retest limit or instant execution. But this is something that I'm gonna backtest and keep you up to date with, guys. So what I expect right now, so the market pushed strongly up, created this little consolidation box, and right now we have a massive explosion to the downside. So what I will need to see, guys, is a little pullback to the upside to create a lower high formation, to show me the rejections, to show me that it's failing to break above, and then I will need a strong push to the downside. Right now, we're sitting at a pretty strong supportive level, so I would expect some sort of a reaction from that area, and this is why I want the pullback, and then potentially we can target a break to the downside, which will be a pretty nice short opportunity. So USD Swiss franc, short bias, just waiting for that pullback, lower high, and then taking a short. Let's have a look at the GBPs, starting from GU. Weekly time frame, what do we have? So we don't have any kind of candle formation to tell us something about the week. It's basically a push down, push back up, closing bearish. So we have a resistance from the top. If I just draw a little line right here to let me know, we have this bottom, which is too far away, so I will not consider this one. And from daily time frame, what we have, guys, the last 5 days, the market opened right here with a strong bearish pressure, huge wick down, tried to push up, failed, day of consolidation, and then on Friday we had support from the downside. So basically, I think that the market is rejecting this area on the left. Why? Because we had this push back down, lower low, and then we had a strong impulsive move to the upside. So the market is supposed to come in and retest the previous structure, and it's showing some wicks to the downside, but in the same time it's failing to break above, meaning that we overall have a little consolidation. However, in between this consolidation, there were some trades. However, again, they are on the hourly time frame. So first trade, I believe it was let me see. Yeah, first one, beautiful trade. It was just a beautiful trade. It was Monday, and I really regret not taking it, because it was a beautiful setup for me personally. Massive impulsive move down, pull back, bullish structure, break, retest right here, potential head and shoulders as well, and a massive flush to the downside. So I would have taken this trade 100%, but again, it was like 7 o'clock. Around, like, London has already closed and New York was about to close, so I usually don't trade at that time, and it was Monday, but massive trade. Next one, it was a little bit tricky. Let me see where it was. It was exactly right here. I had some members take this one, so we had a strong push to the upside, and after a strong push to the upside, we expect the market to start to pull back. Basically, we have a massive uptrend, and on the first signs of the market starting to break, have a look at this one. We have a break of this structure and a retest back, lower high formation, so the market started to trend down. Again, then another corrective phase, which you can take a breakout trade on. The market massively melted to the downside, so this was the next trade and potentially this one, which I didn't take. And then let me see, where was the next one? We have a massive push to the upside. Again, pretty confusing market, guys. We have a massive push to the upside followed by a massive push to the downside. So you're like, am I bullish or bearish? But what we had later is this very nice corrective price action right here. So there was a trade, I believe this Friday? Yeah, I think it was Friday. So what did we have right here was this sort of a break and a retest. I believe this could have been an entry, or a more conservative one would be right here. So you take a trade on the break and the retest, potentially got stopped out, or this is your entry, and this would have been a nice take profit down back into the supportive area. So you can go and analyze for you all of those setups that I just showed you guys and try to extract as much as possible. But if I just focus again and try to expect what might happen, I wanted to keep my line because it was a pretty strong supportive level. But here it is actually. And if I try to see where is my last structural area, I will draw something like this. I will not take this big wick, but I will take this support, now turned resistance, fake out, retest again, and push down. So basically this market is in a consolidation phase. Right now from hourly, this is why I'm focusing more on the hourly time frame, because the hourly provides us with some clear setups. Right now we have a strong push to the upside. I can wait for a pullback, but what I will do, guys, is I will just wait for Monday to open, show me some structure from the new week, and then on Tuesday I'm gonna reanalyze freshly and I'm gonna provide you with that analysis, and then we can start striking for trades. Right now, no immediate trades, no immediate setup to look at, so let's just be patient and let's see what the GBP has for us for next week. This is USD strike. Let me go to GJ. Here it is. So weekly time frame, again, low volume weekly candle, nothing to discuss on this one, except we can always draw a little line like this, just catching all the wicks, because it will be a pretty nice resistance area to work with from the lower time frames. Daily time frame, you see wicks down, wicks up, huge wicks, really choppy price action right here. And from hourly time frame, I can clearly see like a strong supportive level just right here, and a strong resistance level, which was the most recent one, which is just right here, this one, right? So from hourly time frame, really hard to take a trade on this one. We have a push down, we tried to catch the pullback, consolidation right here, potential short, then a massive explosion up, creating an equal lower high, then a massive explosion down, creating a supportive level, like an equal. Yeah, it's not even equal because it's basically support and resistance only. So what did we have on this one, guys? Again, we had a strong push to the downside, but it didn't provide a pullback as GU did. So no trade from here. Similar situation with GU, just right here, just a little bit more aggressive. Like we have that massive push down, and then we have this retest, and this depends on you if you want to take this trade. I personally didn't. And what we had later is this corrective pattern right here, which was a beautiful trade just right here as a break in a retest, but it was Asian session, as you can see, 3:30 in the morning. So I'm not trading by that time, but it was again another nice trade to be taking. Some of the guys from my group that trade Asian smashed that trade, so I was pretty happy about it. And then the market actually started to chop, and really no clear price action. So this is the breakdown for GJ, guys. Really nothing clear for now to expect. We have our area, so I'm just want to see where the market is gonna take off, right? So we have this strong supply demand area right now. We have this strong supply area. So waiting for some clear direction, and make sure to follow on Tuesday. So I really hope we will have some moves, so I will be able to provide you with some pretty nice and clear analysis. GA weekly time frame, we have a bearish candle, but just have a look how exhausted that is, how extended it is, and it keeps pushing down, man. We had this morning star formation, so we expected the market to continue pushing up. However, it just reversed down. Daily time frame, so what I want to mark right here is this strong demand area, and potentially I can mark this one, which is too far away right now because the market is in the middle. So this will not serve us, so I will just focus right now right here. I can take, yeah, this is definitely an area that I will keep an eye on. So what did we have right here is huge wicks down. We had a potential long setup right here, and then we strongly pushed down back into the supportive area. But from an hourly time frame, I want you to pay attention. Like, this structure is just so messy, and I don't usually trade GA because it creates a lot of wicks, and if you use tight stop losses, then you will be taken out on a lot of times with those huge wicks. So we had this nice impulsive move to the upside. I was expecting longs, however the market created this little subtle double top, and if you go to the 15-minute time frame, you will see how the structure started to change. But you can see very wicky, very choppy. I really don't like this pair, and then it started to trend to the downside, and actually we ended up bearish. So what do I expect on this one? Well, I have my major daily zones. I have right now a strong supportive level that the market is staying right now. So what I need to see is the market to potentially pull back a little bit more to form a full hourly lower high and to potentially push me to the downside. So if we are still sell bias, then I will keep selling. But in any signs of the market starting to support strongly from here, starting to push up, then pull back down to create a higher low, then I will be looking to take the market into this strong demand area right here and take a long trade. Right now for GA, nothing is clear for me personally, so patiently waiting for Monday to open and see actually some new created structure. Euro GBP, let's see what do we have. We have some members in the group killing Euro GBP, but I usually don't trade this one. But we have a strong engulfing candle from the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, we have a strong push to the upside, and then we have 3 days of consolidation. So basically you just had to ride the momentum to the upside right here. We had a massive explosion. It was just massive. Massive explosion, higher low formation created right here. So when we drop to the hourly time frame, we had a beautiful downwards trading structure. We had, like, it was very tricky. I think I was looking at that one, wasn't I? Yeah, I was, exactly. I was looking, but just look, guys, just look at this structure. I couldn't find any clear break in the retest. Then I spotted this consolidation right here, but when the consolidation broke, it was Asian session, and actually there was no retest, so potentially no trade. Then after this push to the upside, the market was supposed to exhaust, but the exhaustion was very strong, so potentially a short trade just right here. And then what the market does, it forms this little double bottom formation right here. Come on, man. Failure to break below, just right here. So again, you have to ride that momentum to the upside. You see, the market fails to break, massive explosion up, little candle for retest, and then we just continue to push strongly to the upside, right? So very, very, very impulsive pair, a little bit hard to catch a trade for break and retest, so consider taking breakout trades on that one. But what I expect for next week, guys, this one is pretty clear. Actually, we have this higher low formation. Right now, the market massively broke to the upside, broke above previous structure, and right now it's retesting it from the other side. So potentially we can look for longs, but I really need to see some rejection right here, some bullish pressure, right? So if we expect selling on the GBPs, like on GA, on GJ and GU, if it's going to go down, this one will go up. So I'm patiently waiting for some rejections to happen right here and to potentially take another long. Targeting first target could be this one, which is actually the market reacting to it right now in a beautiful short, but a retest, it might take us into the highs again. So bullish bias on Euro GBP. Let's see if Monday will have some trading opportunities for us. Having a little outlook on gold from the weekly time frame, we have another bullish candle to the upside, but actually the market is pretty consolidative on the lower time frames, and as you can see from a daily time frame, that how perfectly the market is failing to break below and above those areas. And if I drop to the hourly time frame, you will see the consolidation. So the bias, like the trend from a higher time frame perspective, is a consolidation, like overall bullish market. So you have to drop down to the hourly time frame in order to catch some trades, like from support and from resistance. Right here we have this strong push to the downside with a pullback, so potentially a short opportunity right here. And if I drop to the 15-minute time frame, yeah, there actually is a short opportunity after this push and a pullback, which looks like a potential head and shoulders formation and a nice sell-off to the downside, which was like 4 hours, 5 hours after New York opens. So I'm not sure if this is a tradable time for me. It's not actually, so I wouldn't have taken this trade. But overall, guys, on gold, we have this consolidation. So I'm just waiting for something clear to happen. And if you want to trade this one, I would advise you to go to the hourly time frame to analyze for in between, like the structure in between this full hourly consolidation. It's pretty tricky to trade, so I would be very careful with gold. Not clear bias for now. Overall, it's bullish, but just stuck between those two support and resistance levels. So waiting for something clear to happen or for a hourly setup to occur. And wrapping up the video with some indices, starting with US30. So we have a bullish week with rejection on top. It's finding some resistance from this weekly area. So if I go to the daily time frame, you're gonna see that we actually are creating a little bit of a bullish structure, and we have a potential break and retest of this very strong daily resistance, now turned potentially support. So what do we have is a nice push and a pullback potential long opportunity. Just right here, if I go to the lower time frames, like you could spot an entry, this usually loves breakout trading because you can see when it breaks out, like sometimes it comes for a quick retest right here, but most of the times it just explodes. And we have some earnings releases for most of the companies, so this is why the market is a little bit consolidative right now. So I'm patiently waiting for those to come out, and then potentially to see actually how those 30 companies are going to react. Right now, from quality perspective, we have a break and a retest right here, but the market is really consolidative. So I really want to see how Monday is gonna open and what will the actual bias of the market be. But overall, I am looking for buys, but I will not be surprised if we have another dip to the downside, because right now the earnings are coming out, as I said, and we're actually gonna see how the companies are doing, right? So NASDAQ, we have a bearish week, but a pretty consolidative price action. If I jump straight into the hourly time frame, we have this strong push to the upside. Right now we have a strong push down, trying to create a lower high, but I'm always afraid to go short on that one, because this usually trends to the upside, and if we have any shorts, they are usually really like short-lived. So right now we have a pretty strong support right here on the bottom. We have this resistance area, and the market is stuck between those two. So patiently waiting to see for the earnings and if we're gonna have some strong bullish pressure or some strong bearish pressure. So this is how I'm gonna wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you extracted something valuable from it. I try to keep it as simple and as clear and as short as possible. So leave me some feedback if you like it. Make sure to hit the like button to support the channel, and I really appreciate you staying up until now. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to see you on my next video. Let's have a crushing week.